I hadn't heard from Mark or Lonnie, so everybody else is here. Call the meeting, Public Works Committee, committee meeting to order. I'd like to welcome Leslie Overman. She's on the committee now. Looks like the rest of us was the same ones that's been on it. If you would review the minutes from the September 21st meeting, and I'd entertain a motion to approve. There's no additions or corrections to the minutes. Mr. Governor.
I want to President, I noticed in the minute, he said it was 6850 for the Mack truck had not been placed in the last one. That's why has that been received? Solis said the surplus vehicle sale had probably $11,248. All had been received except $6,850 for the Mack truck. That means the editor just left.
Yeah, they put past for 30 days, so we'll have to relist it.
Okay. He just needs to stay with these.
Got a motion to approve the minutes, so I have a second. Second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. All in most say aye. All opposed, say no. All righty, we'll come to the number 3, officer elections. We can entertain a motion to keep all 3 like they are, or we can start on.
I'll move to leave them as is.
I got a motion. That would be me as chairman, Lonnie Taylor's co-chair, and Mr. Gregory as secretary.
Second.
Got a second? Any more discussion on this? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Thank you. Move on to 4 discussion items. First thing under discussion items is parks, the playground update, Mr. Salee.
Yes, sir. We've been over there the last several weeks. The auction went well. I gave everybody a list of what the equipment brought. They did on this list, they did deduct $475 advertising fee that we had to pay. So the total for what we got to check was $39,5650. The goal for this wasn't to make money. They were going to charge us several $1,000s to have a contracting company come in and take all that stuff out. We weren't capable of doing it without damaging it. So by selling it like this, we got basically free removal of all the equipment. We've been over there most all of them took their cement with them when all the stuff that they pulled out of the ground, busted out of the ground. I think there's 3 big pieces that they just couldn't get it all out. So they left it, and today we spent most of the day today picking up big concrete pieces of concrete and hauling them to the convenience center where we have a field site on the back of the property that we keep dumping that kind of stuff in. So everything's moving forward. I don't see any reason why they won't be able to start when they get ready. We're basically waiting on TDEC to approve a couple more things and kick questions back and forth. And it's going to be something from here on out. I mean, there's always a little hitch here and there. I know they're going to get into our camera wire. They're going to get into our lighting wire. So we're going to have to move some lighting. That wasn't included in any of the bids or consideration. The park's going to be quite a bit smaller. We've seen the diagrams, and the lighting's only going to cover about 1/3 of the park. So if new lighting don't come with the new park, we'll have to move all that we have, which is new LEDs. It won't be a big deal. It's just a matter of doing it. Another thing is the camera system. It's working good now. We've had some wires. Our cable has been buried for almost 10 years now. So it's getting old, and some of the liners in the direct bury has some water in it. And we're going to have to run new wires and everything for that. The system there, it's a good system. It's in good shape. It's up and running now. We can pull it up anytime we want to. The sheriff's department's actually had caught a fight and got on, took care of some people without us even getting involved. It was reported. The deputies had access to the cameras. They backed up the file and found it themselves. So it's working. It's deterring a lot of stuff. We hadn't had near as much damage there, so it's doing good. We're just like I said, we'll be hurry up and wait on this part, but we'll be ready when they, for sure.
Anybody got any questions for Cliff for any more discussion?
Just one, you said the lighting will only cover about a third of that lighting area once it's, or that I'm misunderstanding.
That's probably about right.
Okay.
Until we see where they're gonna actually lay the park, which we're trying to get them to, where they had it originally set was kind of in the middle of the area. And then none of the lighting would have worked, so we tried to get it moved closer to where it starts at the old entryway. So at least that front half would be lit with the old stuff that's there, and then we can move the other poles in and get everything up and close like it needs to be.
And about how you said that new playground will be smaller than the current, about, would you say?
We had the I'd say it's a third of the size. Maybe, we've had the maps here, but it is considerably smaller. I'll try to have some maps next meeting.
I know people have been asking, the Facebook about what the site is gonna be like. I posted the picture, but it didn't have a scale.
Right.
Okay.
There's a lot to do in the park. It's full of activities. It's gonna be a very nice park. It's just not.
I was curious.
Can you give us an update how the fall festival went, Mayor? I didn't get to make it, but they said it had a huge crowd for that.
So the essence of that might have been a little exaggerated, but yeah, big crowd. They had some entertainment that showed. It's kind of disappointing, and the cakewalk is not as good as some of the other cakewalks. But as far as crowds concerned, there's several events now that do good.
Anybody else we need to discuss under parks? All right, we're moving to B, solid waste. First thing on this, the new front loader.
Yeah, we got it last Tuesday, the 17th. And with every vehicle we've ever purchased, we received a title, bill of sale, and everything was going to get tagged on it. For some reason, we didn't get the registration or title or anything with this truck. So it's still sitting idle. The temporary tag showed up today, this afternoon. So hopefully we'll get it running either tomorrow or Friday. We'll have it on the road. It's a welcome sight. The old one has had it, but we'll have it running soon. So it's here. The new pickup that we ordered for this budget year is here. So we're stocked up on vehicles and help. I think the next truck we'll be looking at, of course, we've got a front loader on order. The next truck we'll be looking at will be that automated door-to-door truck that we have. Their lifespan is 6 to 7 years. We've had ours for 10, going on 11 years now. So it'll just be a matter of time. It's starting to show its age, some oil leaks and stuff like that. Hopefully we can get another year out of it. I know last year it was 2 years, so hopefully one more year at least out of it.
Mr. Gully.
Do we have an update on that other truck that's on order?
No, I haven't heard from them.
The other truck is the one that's the rollback, correct?
Roll off, yeah.
Roll off,
Yes.
sorry. Get the other one, are we able, I know it broke down on you a couple of times, in Smith County, the one we were using still in place. Are we making do with it?
Oh, yeah, we're in good shape, yes.
So where we stand on the other one, the new one? You said you hadn't heard anything?
No, he told us 2 years, but I think we'll get it before that. They've had some people back out, some people who couldn't get the financing together, so we went ahead and put it in this year's budget, hoping to get it on next year. So we may get it before then.
Yes.
Do we have a check on registration and title for the truck that we're talking about? We know everything's in process or is it a process?
There won't payment, so it's 360 $1,000 trucks, they're wanting payment. I'm sure somewhere, some way back, somebody didn't pay them, you know.
So we've received the truck, but the payment hadn't been made for the truck.
I know a PO is on it. I haven't
Yeah,
seen an
yeah,
invoice.
the checks have probably been, checks in. The check's either been printed or it has to be printed. You signed that check, Larry? Oh, you remember that?
The invoice has been processed, it may be this week.
Anything else on this? If not, we move the school tipping fees. Give us an update on that.
Yeah. When Carrie started, she noticed that some of the schools tipping fees, didn't change from the times we dumped. If we dumped, like in school let out, if we dumped more can, the bill stayed the same, so. We went back and looked, and sometime, her predecessor, or the one before that, has set it up to where they spend $35,000 a year on tipping fees, no matter how many times we dump. And I can remember one time, they just quit paying, like the last, several weeks of school, they just didn't pay the garbage bill. So we've started, sending them a full bill that's owed, and they're paying it now. But I do remember when they run out of money, that $35,000 line item, they do quit paying, or they did. They may continue now, but that's been an item we've had to deal with in the past.
I guess that's something we can discuss once they do quit paying. As long as they keep
Yeah.
paying, it's good. I mean,
Yeah. Like I said, they're paying now.
Anybody got any questions, any more discussion on this?
Even if they do pay, they're still not paying what they ought.
Right now they are, she sent a full bill this past month and they paid it, you know, and they've always done that up until they run out of that line, when that line depletes and they quit paying.
So do we have a record of when that line is completed and how?
In years past, we have to go way back to look. I mean, I hadn't heard about this in so long. And I've never signed anything saying that was a idea, and it's never been ran through this committee or any other committee that we waive those fees, so.
I mean, they have 35,000 a year, we're roughly losing, we've lost $800 to $1,000 a month, so I mean, we're looking at $10,000 to $12,000 a year.
We don't have that kind of deal with anybody else, do we?
Oh, sorry.
I don't see why we should have it with schools, that they'll be paying the same as everybody else.
I'm a little confused. You say we're losing 800 to 1,000 a month, but Mr. Slee says they're paying the bill in full until 35,000 gets out. So I'm confused by the two conversations.
Well, until last month, they've been paying how much a month?
Like 28.17, so we averaged it out, or whoever before averaged it out to where one bill was adjusted. Each month, so they didn't pay over that, so therefore the 35,000 went all the way to the end of December. You see what I'm saying?
They weren't being billed the full amount.
Right.
Right,
They
it we
prorate the
adjusted,
bill every month, so it come out to $35,000 at the end of the budget year.
So that they had set up, like I go to Tri-County and I set up a monthly bill, levelized bill. That's what we're talking about.
just on one school that they adjusted it up.
We don't have one school system.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like we bill for, the high school, the middle school, the elementary school, the bus garage. So, on the first bill, like they're separate invoices, they pay with one check, but on one invoice, say it just bill $1,800. So we would have did a contractual adjustment per se, for $800 and something for it to be the 28.17 for all the bills together each month.
I guess what I'm saying is, we're talking about a school not paying, but it sounds like we it's not paying, it was wasn't billed, and if we said at this point, it sounds interesting that we're bringing this to the public, and I'm fine with bringing it to the public, I hear what I'm not saying.
They knew how many dumps and they knew how much was being taken off. So they had 35,000 budgeted for what, past 2 or 3 years. And that's all that they paid.
We'll just keep running and see what they do. I'm sure they'll pay. Shouldn't have been brought up. I apologize.
Any more discussion on this? We'll move on to other, our county attorney's here, and I don't think, was you here for the bill, for the community center price, or?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
well,
we talked about that.
we've got a building committee now, but if you want to bring it or discuss this tonight, to tell you the building hadn't had a meeting yet, or
We're talking
what
about
do you,
the policy for the use of this
Yes.
building.
yes.
It's just what you want to do. I can take a stab at it and circulate it to everybody to review before next meeting. Something needs to be done. Last meeting we had, we discussed, and it falls under the mayor's department because he's over those departments. So it would be under the mayor's office. So he needs some guidance on what he can do, because we talked about the last time, we talked about waivers for some, whatnot. And again, I've got no position on it. I don't even know what the will of the body is. Typically, whatever you do, just have a standard for it. And I think we talked about raising the amount maybe to a higher rate than what was being already. So that's kind of where I am on it. I don't mind putting something together, but if y'all can give me some guidelines, that would be helpful on what you're thinking in the way of this particular facility, and if it's this body or it makes the recommendation, or if it's just a matter of policy, what all you're doing. Mr. Chairman, I had the youth football league contact me this week about the possibility of using the building for 2 hours, and if I would waive the fee. And in thinking about that, my input's gonna be this: I think going forward, we shouldn't pay the fee. And in case of the Red Cross, just go get a sponsorship with that day, the Red Cross, that someone has paid, and that way you don't think that's the simplest solution. What input this bid?
Mr. Geller.
Is the price still the $100 and then $100 deposit is refunded if everything's cleaned up? But that is where we're at, right?
The only exception I would want to make on Red Cross is just to charge $100 and have them make the deposit, because they're coming 3-4 times a year. And we can handle it that way, and I can find enough sponsors around town to say they're sponsoring the venture out today and get $100. That way you don't have to wait in fees. Whatever this committee decides, fine with me, but that's my input on it.
I just know we've got a building committee now that they haven't had a meeting, sort of branched off of this. So I mean, do we need to wait and let them discuss it, or we need to go ahead and discuss it tonight in our for public works and solid waste?
I mean, we can discuss it. I mean, I think we can discuss it and just let Billy know.
Okay.
Hey,
Because this is where it originally
yeah,
started
yeah,
here,
this is where it
yes.
started. This is our thoughts. Y'all do what y'all want with it.
Now, Mr. Billard sent a email out about what Smith County, it was like $200 a month. I thought that was pretty fair, and
That's for the ag center. It's
Okay.
it's a big facility. It's a
okay,
big
bigger,
facility.
yes, okay.
It's only $200.
Mr.
No
Geller.
deposit or anything, I'm sorry,
Keep going.
no deposit. It's just $200.
I'll find you an answer for that. Not a living.
Mr. Geller.
Watching plays, look at that answer. Are there any other groups like American Red Cross that are using it for a blood drive, which is a really good cause?
Without paying the fee.
Are there any others you can think of that would need that?
The only one would be, for the FCA this time, I mean, at least 4 events, but no. Nothing else seems to be waiting.
And not during your administration, but I think the during the previous administration, the Rotary Club had had a couple of events here and had the fee waived. But like I said, we haven't had anything here during as we call tenure.
And we talked about posting the rules or something, a nice deal in here. I mean, I know it's something back here in the back, this hard to.
I think that could be, something to build with me.
I don't have their rate scheduled in my file, so I apologize. It may be more.
I understand it's still not a down deposit.
I don't think we should use this building as a way to profit. I think we should figure out what it costs us for utilities and, you know, to upkeep it, and that's what we should charge.
See, y'all.
Chairman, I know one time Mayor Carmen talked about that, how much he was losing. If the upkeep on the building was losing each year, I can't give you a firm figure on that, but it was pretty awesome. Kind of really utilities.
We also talked about if there's any way to split. But I think cleaning had something to do with. Why we couldn't.
I think there's probably a middle ground, sort of, I mean, yeah, we want to recoup our costs, but, you know, we have the pool open every summer that we know we're losing money on, but we do it as a service to our citizens, and as many people as use this building, it's a service to our citizens too. You know, I kind of look like Leslie, I mean, you know, we don't necessarily want to lose money, but we don't want to be making money off our employees on this.
So you thinking leave it the price like it is?
I mean, we can adjust it, but
Is there a way to find out what our expenses are yearly on this?
Yeah, there's a way.
I think you should get rid of the deposit. Because the deposit comes in, it goes through the trustee, it goes through the county, and someone has to reconcile it on the bank, I mean, just to give $100 back.
What is the benefit of a deposit?
Guess if it's
Damage.
damaged.
It's damages.
What's $100 gonna go?
More than
Well,
you think.
It's been damaged, and we have to come in and fix it. But, I mean, that's damaged all over. We just let it go.
Mr. Good.
That was where I was. If we're, it doesn't seem to have been an issue, the dollar figure that we're talking about. My personal view on it is, if we need to write it up in the way we need to write it up, but let's leave it as is and give the mayor the authority to say, hey, I want to waive it for this group. If he chooses to waive it for the record, or obviously he doesn't like that.
You can agree to that, yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me restate that. I would see something like, American Red Cross coming in here to use this for a blood drive as a reason to waive cost. Personally, I'd be fine with, we need, however we need to write that up, support that. Or if we want to support, no, I'm fine with either one. But I see a piece like that as being a good use of the.
The thing about Red Cross is they don't come in here and have a party and have stuff scattered all over the place. They clean up after themselves. It's never been a problem. But we've got a lot of people that we're having problems with, whether they pay or not. So I can understand why Mr. Gully would go along, and I'm for that as well. We've never had an issue after they come in, they clean their mess, they vacuum the floor. It's like they've never been here. So.
For sure. Can I ask Mr. Butler, if you kind of trying to read faces a little bit, is there a way that you think we can best write that up? I think the mayor wants to only have the ability to waive it for, or not even waive it at all, but for us to set the fees of the Blue Cross, that Red Cross doesn't have to.
I think he said he doesn't want that waiver.
So he doesn't waive it, that's what I'm
So
saying.
he doesn't want that waiver, and,
well,
you know, that puts you in a position of picking and choosing a lot of times, and when you're dealing with governmental buildings, you know, kind of the general rule is, what you do for one, you do for all in the same class. And that's kind of that's the difficulty. So,
Mr. Chairman, one reason I'm glad we're meeting tonight is this youth football group that said we just want to use 2 hours, and I think sometimes they way for them to use something up the park, and so they were just hoping that we'd wait again, so, you know. I've got to make a decision, I one, whether I waive the fee or tell them no. And so I know if I waive the fee in a few weeks, someone else is gonna say, you know, well, you didn't keep football.
You said that, President. Oh, so
I would say, you know, just from a legal perspective though, and just hindsight, thinking about what I just said, you're probably better off not to waive anything until you have a policy in place that clearly delineates it. And I think that's kind of where you're going with it. Again, it goes back to this governmental building. I know we want to do things for a lot of folks. I'll be the bad guy. They can say the lawyer said, that's fine. But where do you draw the line? You know, yeah, that's the big item.
so
Mr.
I put
Gregory,
in a motion that we don't waive any fees and leave our prices as they are.
y'all heard the motions, any discussion, late,
So,
any more?
no, I was gonna say, I thought Carrie had a good idea, if the deposit is the hassle in terms of paperwork, maybe we make the fee 150 and it was no deposit. And that way we're not, but you know, it's whatever the convenience is.
You state your
I made a
motion,
motion, that we leave the fees as are. Do not have the option to waive any fees.
I have a second on that. Got a motion on the floor, do I have a second? I see it done, motion fails.
I have not been on this committee, so I don't know what research y'all have done. I would personally like to see the utilities and the cost and then reevaluate pricing.
Mr. Martin,
I can't remember who I talked to, where this come up with. If you could, yeah, we don't want it to be making us money, but we don't want it to be costing a lot too. So if you can raise the fee a little and maybe have that put in the account just for this building to take care of stuff that happens, you know. Somebody mentioned something about changing speakers or something. Well, you had a little bit set aside to go just toward this room.
Does the,
Kind of self-sufficient, this room kind of taking care of itself.
where does the deposit or the rental fee for this currently go, just into general?
It goes into general. Mhm.
Okay. You know, so maybe can we create and I mean, it doesn't go for the full board, I'm sure, create a line item for
So-
maintenance on this building or?
We could, the fees that we gather from the community center do go into a cost center, so I know exactly how much has been receipted for that. And yes, it's up to the commission if they want to have a line item for that.
So if I understood Mr. Bell correctly, at this moment, the policy does or does not give the option to waive.
Well, you've set a precedence through the mayor's office to allow the mayor discretion to do that, okay? So history says this is what you've been doing, all right? Through these discussions, last meeting and today, and even mayor's consideration is really, you know, it's putting the mayor's office in a position to probably, I wouldn't want to be in that position either, because you don't have a standard by which to go by. What's your litmus test? So I think out of abundance of precaution, probably my recommendation is say just recommend to the mayor right now, just no waiving of fees. And then if, you know, I think there's the issue about costs and then those things, and that's something that the administration would have to get back on. So you can consider a recommendation for your fees at a later date, but right now he's got to address something in the morning. So,
Put in the form of a motion that we, do not, that we, formal motion that we add that the mayor does not have the option to waive fees. Rental of the fees.
I've got a motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
The mayor does not have the authority
Does
to
not have the-
waive the fees. Second.
Got a second. Any more discussion?
Good question. This might be, do we have the ability to limit the mayor?
You recommend, I took it as a recommendation because it's still under his office,
Okay.
okay?
Okay,
But you still, on committees, that's what you do, you recommend a lot of things, it doesn't have to go to the full body. At least it puts the discussion's been noted in the minutes, you cut. And in light of what I've recommended, I would recommend doing just apart from that, just don't do it if you can, so.
let's clarify that.
Y'all understand the motion in a second? Any more discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say no. Motion carries. So you. All righty, is anything else? You was here for that, so that.
The minutes, I don't know, off the top of my head.
All righty.
Yeah, that's one thing. Fall under building committee now, the caution lights, the schools. Are those? Yeah, they get taken care of.
They have been taken care of.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next, give us an update on the courthouse, but the train, have they been here? Can you give us an update on where we stand on that?
And I'll be-
Well, we brought it up in our last meeting.
I can tell you from what I know, there was a meeting scheduled last week, it got rescheduled for this week for the purposes of the electrical inspection. I have not received word yet from Ms. Mahan or any other source that it's passed or not passed, I don't know. But there's probably a delay in it, giving you the information that you need is update. I have done exactly what I said the commission authorized. I've drafted the letter, I'm just waiting to get the report from the electrical inspection. To see what they say about it.
Mr. Slade, can you give us any more updates? on it?
It did not pass inspection. The representative was here with the electrical company. Weren't aware of a lot of the things that Train and Mayor Chambers signed in the contract. There's several things in there that they had no idea it was supposed to be done or not done, so. I don't know what all it is, but it's. And they have been here, there's some things that we've noticed. We walked through with, Inspector Gully a couple of times and. He asked us to keep an eye on certain things and some things have been done, some things haven't, so what all. Else needs to be done, I don't know. That's something that they're waiting on. Some things have been done, but it still hadn't passed. No.
Is there another inspection scheduled? Yet?
The ball's in their court at this time. To purchase additional inspection fees. They have to set it up to ask for the inspection, it's not, they're not asking.
Okay, the train union had that.
Whoever the electrical license contractor is.
Okay.
Train may be whoever's in that electrical license. That try to on the inspection.
Okay.
So the courthouse and the community center from this time forward probably under the building committee, because this committee had a lot under it, so we, I mean. Understand that. Anything else we need to bring up? Any public comment? Seeing none, I hear a motion to adjourn. I haven't set another meeting, but we may not need one in November, but we probably need. pretty good. December, January to start getting this pool ready for the next year. But we'll probably just want to play it beer for November if we have one. Here a motion to adjourn.
So,
Second, Richard Johnson. Appreciate y'all coming.
y'all.